From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. With Gina Grad on news, Bold Bryan on sound effects, and a spirited round of the Rotten Tomatoes game. And now, unimpressed with the Mars footage. It looks just like his childhood lawn. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but on your mandate, you get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
Handball, Bryan.
Let's play some games.
Oh, yeah. Bryan took the last the Rotten Tomatoes game off, and Gina and I still lost.
Take it off.
Not fair, though.
Neither of you guys get to win.
It has an asterisk. Adam Ray went last. He got he split in between us. Doesn't count.
Understood.
Yeah. All right. So
it's good to have a sanctioned game going again.
We got that to get to. Max Pata did some top-notch producing. My God, that's producing, man. He found this woman on Reddit who'd befriended crows, and they defended her and attacked. You know, she had her own murder of attack crows.
Ooh.
So we're going to speak to her about how that worked coming up. I did a little fine art over the weekend, and I got the teachers' unions all hacked off at me. Now, here's the deal. First things first, I don't give a fuck about the teachers' union. Like, oh, Adam's worried about the teachers' union. I didn't like fucking teachers when I was in school. As I've said,
it was mutual.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple equation. Get an auditorium full of 1,000 people. Ask everyone, raise your hand if you had a teacher that changed your life. Everyone's hand will go up, and then ask them if you had 2 teachers that ever ever shaped your life. And most of the hands will go down. And by the time you get to 4 teachers, they're all down. So yeah, okay, heroes. I had 3 good teachers out of 128 teachers. All right. So number 1. This thing where it's like, well, we have to have this reverence for what? People that tapped out of life, who didn't want to join society, who basically went into the last bastion of socialism in this country. Fine. Okay. You're heroes. Now it's time to get the fuck back to work. Everyone else is back to work. Everyone but you. So I sent a tweet out that said either they don't want to go back to work or they're cowards. I don't know. Is there a third option? As far as teachers, LA Unified, not wanting to go back into the classroom, either they don't want to do it, which is a distinct possibility for many of them, or they're scared. What is the third option?
You know what? I think I don't know if this would be considered the third option, that they are scared and that is valid. Like,
all right, and we're all scared. Get the fuck back to work. Everyone's scared. I'm not scared, but everyone else is scared. Everyone's scared. The truck drivers are scared. People that work at Trader Joe's are scared. The people that work at the airport are scared. Cops are scared. Firemen are scared. Everyone's scared. Sanitation. Everyone's scared. Now get the fuck back to work. I thought that's what we did. I thought that was a society. Okay, everyone's scared. I don't know why we're scared at this point, but okay, everyone's scared. Do we want scared people teaching our kids? I don't want cowards teaching my kids. This is a big deal. This fear thing, it's a big fucking deal. I've been talking about this for a long time, this umbrella of fear. It's like, oh, it was zero tolerance for fear. I don't want a bunch of fucking pussies teaching my kids. Thank God they're impenetrable as far as knowledge. But do you want fearful people? Do you want a bunch of fucking scared people teaching your kids? Do we want the guy from Lost in Space, who everyone thought was gay? Do we want those fucking people teaching our kids? I don't want cowards teaching my kids. Well, the good news is they're not really teaching my kids because they're not going back to fucking school. But okay, they're scared. Well, then who amongst us couldn't use that excuse? We're scared. Okay.
That's great.
Everyone works at a supermarket scared. Everyone who cooks at a kitchen is scared. Everyone who works in a hotel is scared. Every cop is scared. Like, everyone's scared. Okay, we're all scared. Now what? Now don't we have to weigh our responsibility and duties against shouldn't we weigh that against our fear?
Sure.
Yeah, my theory for the third option, like you raised, was I'll bet there are plenty of teachers, in fact, maybe the majority, who would like to go back to work as safe or as soon as possible. But like we alluded to or arrived on a few times earlier, it's the union that's kind of strong.
It is the union. Tell your union
like, now you're not. Yeah, you may want to go back, but we're not having it.
Well, tell your union to fuck off then. Go push against your union then. It's your union. It's your union. It's like, oh, well, first off, why do we have to parse this out? It's like, well, the teachers aren't cowards. They want to go back to work. It's their union. Well, then cowards speak up against your union.
Talk to your rep and take a vote.
It's your union. At this point, look, when you've lost Gavin Newsom in the pussy debate, you're done. Even Gavin Newsom, the biggest pussy of all, is saying get back to work. That's the CDC, that's the WHO, that's Gavin Newsom, that's Fauci, that's everyone says get the fuck back to work. It's not like we don't have examples. Schools are open worldwide, and in many, many other states. Get the fuck back to work. And their thing is like, well, we don't like what you call us. Well, sorry, pussies. Stop being pussies if you don't want to be called a pussy. Get the fuck back to work. You're fucking with the kids. That's the whole thing. You're hurting the kids, heroes, scared heroes. Jesus Christ. Does anyone think about the kids? It's been a year. A lot of these kids are never going to come back from this. Get the fuck back to work. This thing is like, well, what about us? Like, what about our safety? What about the kids? I thought you got into it to help the kids because you allegedly cared about kids. Yes, it's the union, but it's the teachers' union. And if there was enough pushback from the union members, they would reverse their course. If the members of the union,
an outcry.
Spoke up, then the leaders of the union would have to do their bidding. They're not speaking up. They have some things like everyone's got to be vaccinated. That's months. We've lost another year. They have all the stuff in place. We know what to do. Go do it.
And it's so funny, because this is
or
good news
quit
for anyone.
your fucking job. Quit then. If you don't want to do it, you're too big a fucking pussies to go back to work. Then quit. Sorry, go ahead.
This is great news for anyone who's not a teacher, because it's like, oh, we should have these vaccinations by April or May. Like, oh, that seems early. The school year's over.
That's another school year, yeah.
So what did it matter?
First off, is there any science that going back to the class even causes anything? There's no science to that. There's no spread in the classes. Kids aren't vulnerable. There's nothing that backs up their cowardice. Where are the teachers that died? The whole rest of the country's open. Where are they? Where are the kids? Where are the teachers? Where's the body count? Where are the statistics? They don't have any statistics. They want to go back to fucking work. And my thing is, if you don't like being called cowards, then don't act like a coward. Or you shall be called a coward. Now, everyone else is a pussy because they pretend like teachers do things, but they don't really care about teachers. Everyone just wants to be on the happy side of all this shit. But I got some tweets from the teachers union.
Yeah,
they have an official homepage or something.
Yeah, they have social accounts, and this is in your response to your tweet, which we'll just quote it here.
What does the official teacher union account exist for? What is it supposed to do aside from the tax?
C-list
comedians. Adam,
got to settle the hash of C-list comedians.
Well, Adam's tweet was, LA teachers either don't want to go back to work or are cowards. Those are the only two options left.
At this point, those are the only two options left. It's not even a left-right thing anymore. The Faucis and the Gavin Newsoms are saying get back to work. So what is it? All right, go ahead.
All right, so what they did is they shared a picture of text, and I saw this picture going around. It's of your profile picture on Twitter, and it says, entitlement alert, Adam Carolla calls Los Angeles teachers cowards from his new $7.3 million mansion in La Cañada.
Well, first off, that makes me smarter than you imbeciles because I got a mansion. So that's number one. Right. I'm smarter than you guys. Thank you. Okay.
And then they've sent a few tweets out using that same picture. One of the tweets says, teachers are working, Adam Carolla, but congrats on being spared the devastation our communities face. The communities we serve have COVID-19 levels 15 times greater than those in your wealthy La Cañada neighborhood.
Yeah, that's why I moved, bitch.
What does the value of your home have to do with you calling them cowards? I mean, you can certainly take issue with you calling them cowards, but that's a weird
You got to make a decision these days when you disagree with someone. Like, do we play the race card or do we play the affluent card? Those are your two choices. When you go against somebody, you either have to call them something. It has something to do with being racist or something to do with being rich. That's the new angle. The new angle is like, you've got money. You live in an expensive house.
Yeah, so
what do you know?
What do I know?
Here's another tweet they sent along with that same picture. Who is the coward? The teachers who dare confront government officials and powerful business to fight for the health of their students and families? Or you, who sit safely in your La Cañada mansion criticizing what apparently you don't even understand? Teachers are working.
All right.
The idea being that you're holed up safely in your mansion.
Right.
They know you very well.
Yes, I'll be in Oklahoma City doing 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday this
and don't
weekend.
Get jealous of that cushy Southwest flight either.
Yes, I know. They just it's this elitism thing. This like, oh, you have money, so I'm going to try to shame you. Because see, what works on everyone now is you just tell them they have money, and then everyone backs off, or you call them a racist, and they back off.
The flaw in the attacking the elitists or the elitism is everyone's, unless your kid's in private school, I guess, but everyone's kids are affected by this regardless.
Yes. Well, thanks. First off, I'm literally a millionaire. No thanks to LA Unified. No fucking thanks to LA Unified.
Where you'd be without them.
Yes, yeah. You guys failed me horribly. We got more responses.
Yes, and then anybody who defended you in that tweet thread, they would just post more pictures of text. This one says, in the communities we serve, 80% of the families live in poverty. More than 80% of families are Black and Latino, and the rates of COVID infection are significantly higher. And they keep punching the fact that most of their kids are Black and Latino. So
okay. Well, they're good. They're working the race angle. Thank God. All right, so the Black and the Latinos can languish in their crappy apartments while you guys hammer checks. Thank you, heroes. This thing of like, we're pushing back against, who are they pushing back against? The big companies? Oh, me, but it's like big business and government. Yeah, the government is your government. It's the guy you gave all the money to, Gavin Newsom, wanting you to get back to work. That's your guy. You're not, Trump's gone. It's Gavin Newsom now. And Biden.
And while the statistics about the impoverished children they serve are I guess important, it doesn't feel germane to what the interaction between you and them. It feels like it's out of left field.
Well, they're not. First off, they don't have a ton of logic. That's why they've decided to be LA Unified school teachers. And none of these guys are from the speech and debate team, evidently. I corrected them. I wrote back, I did not write that for my $7.3 million La Cañada mansion. I wrote that for my mansion in Malibu. So,
oh, boy.
Yeah. Well,
right.
You want clarity.
Yeah, right.
I was.
Let's be accurate. Yeah.
I did deliver that from my mansion in Malibu. So just for clarity, LA Unified. All right. Listen. Here's the whole thing. Nobody likes me anyway, so I don't give a fuck. So get the fuck back to work.
It's impunity.
You're free. You're free to be honest.
Yes, I'm free. I'm free.
Gina, I'll send you that $5. I shouldn't have guessed that Adam would be conciliatory and walk back his stance. That was foolish. I'll Venmo you.
Well, the thing
why did I
is,
take that bet?
Look, as far as I can tell, the only way they're not going back to work. Look, I think we've all seen over the last year or more that a drive, a notion, a movement can change things. And if we could rally the parents and the people of Los Angeles to start putting pressure on the teachers' unions, once they get very unpopular and they get on sort of the losing side of public opinion and social media. And if we could get a few notable people to come out of the woodwork and go against them, then they would feel pressured and they would cave like any industry, any business, anybody who's basically running. And so what they do is they hide under this veil of we're teachers and we're heroes and no one will fuck with us because we're sacred cows. But if enough people piped up, we could put pressure on them and they would go back to work.
You know what's interesting about that? We always talk about it. Everybody always talks about it from the top down. So, why doesn't Newsom say something? Why doesn't Garcetti say something? Why doesn't Biden say something? But you're right, because first of all, they don't want to not get reelected.
It's not a cause celeb.
Right. So when you go from the bottom up, people part of that union putting pressure on the people that represent them, that makes sense. I don't know why we're constantly looking at it from the other way around.
And we talk about optics a lot, but isn't the really bad optics for the union to be what we suspect using, let's say, the kids as pawns, basically to get a better deal or to get, I don't know what, a better CBU or a CBA, like they're essentially using these kids like pawns.
Yeah, they don't care about kids. If they did, they'd be back to work. I mean, look. Also, there are many places where they never close the schools. There's just many places in Europe and places in the United States where if they did close them, they close them for 10 minutes. They've been up for months and months and months. Months and months. We have all the data we need because every other school system has been open ostensibly except for LA Unified. So let's get back to work, heroes.
Yes. Can I say one more thing to your point? The other thing that's been going around is the new variant. There's a new variant or a couple new variants. They're not here, but what if they come here? So isn't that kind of proving the point that things as they are right now are safe? Because we're not really talking about what's safe now. We're talking about what might not be safe next.
Good point. And here's a little thought experiment, LA Unified school teachers and unions. About 10 minutes ago, Trump was saying, we're going to get a vaccine. And everyone was saying, no way. It's years. It's years. There's no way. They've never developed a vaccine faster than 4 years, And then Trump was like, we're going to have one by Christmas. This is in October or something, or maybe further back than that. And everyone is going, no, it's 2 years. It's 2 years minimum to create a vaccine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what if we didn't have a vaccine? What if it was, as the experts said, if you go back 6 or 8 months ago, many experts were saying this is a 2-year process or this is a 3-year process. All right, so here's my thought experiment, LA Unified teachers. You're not going back without a vaccine. What if we didn't have a vaccine for 2 years? Then what? Well, because the criteria is you need to get a vaccine. So what if we didn't invent a vaccine? Everyone thought it was going to take 3 years. So what if we didn't have one? Would you just never go back to work? I'll let you.
The criteria would be years.
Yes, I'll let you guys think about that. All right. Anyway, listen. I don't give two shits about the LA Unified School District. They're fucking horrible.
Yeah. And this is the United Teachers Los Angeles. This is
United Teachers. Yeah. All right. Oh. All right. Get the fuck back to work, so says me.
Speaking of which.
Yes.
You better not have run out of time to talk about Fine Arts Day with your daughter.
Oh, yeah. I did.
At school.
Yeah, I did Fine Arts Day, although I don't know what it was connected to.
I don't either. I just saw a picture that Lynette posted, and I go, what in the hell is this?
This is, we had Fine Arts Day, which is, I'm not going to tell you which is whose or whose is what's, but I haven't painted anything that wasn't, fascia or a deck or a railing in probably since I was in high school. So the way
it's like a paint and sip without the wine.
Yeah, it's like a father-daughter Zoom. Couple other father-daughters on there. One woman runs the class. She's got the computer.
Is this through school or is this extracurricular? Is this some sort of...
I think it's extracurricular as far as I can tell. I don't sweat the details, as you know. I just say, where do you want me? What are we doing?
No, that question was for Chris.
So I just showed up, and Natalia got the paints and got the little canvas. The canvas were these little stretch boards, are probably 12 by 18 or 12 by 16 or something like that. And we just sat around the living room table. And then the woman who runs the Zoom art thing sort of says, all right, here's the brushes you're going to need, and you're going to need some water, and you're going to need this, and you're going to need that, and here's how we're going to start. Here's what it's supposed to look like.
And then you take it like piece by piece with her telling you how to do it.
Yeah, it's like
happy little trees.
Paint everything blue. So you paint everything blue. And, it's funny. All along the way, she just keeps going, it doesn't really matter what direction you go, and it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't really matter, and it's okay if you do this, and it's okay if you spill that or do that, or it doesn't really matter. Yeah, but at the end, your stuff looks like shit if it doesn't really matter all along the way. Like, at some point, it has to matter, sweetheart. She's always like, no, there's no right and there's no wrong. Oh, there is a right and a wrong.
It doesn't matter to her.
She's doing it
that
right.
is spoken like a teacher who's seen people mentally break the fuck down during these classes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Tears.
The only good part of the whole experience was Natalia was seeing what her friends were doing, and it looked equally as shitty as what I was doing. So I felt better.
Bad. I'm trying to think. I think I know which one is yours.
Well, there's two that are about the same. Where they were painting the northern lights, essentially.
Ah, yes. The Aurora Borealis.
Yes. The
one on the right looks more sophisticated. So for that reason, I'll say that's Natalia's.
See, that's interesting. I thought the one on the right looked more kind of like black and white thinking, like these are what trees look like, and this is what a big swath of light looks like.
Well,
and
can you maybe pull up tighter, Maxipata? I don't know if you can do that. Or
the one
or
on the left, and this is a compliment to both of you, depending on whose it is, has more of a girlish whimsy. So I'm going to say that yours is on the right.
Well, Bryan has me on the right. We'll put these up at AdamCarolla.com.
Yours is the one with the big wide white swath. Is that the one you're talking about, Bryan?
I have Natalia on the right.
Natalia's on the right. And
Gina's guessing you're on the right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on the left. So Natalia is on the right.
There you go.
You have such a girlish whimsy about your tree.
I was taking a me day. I just kind of feeling pretty.
Oh, man.
Got my stipple on.
Yeah.
I love to get my stipple on. So
look at those dreamy branches.
I know. We were just sitting there, and she was the lady instructor was putting us through our paces, and we were getting our paint on. Like I said, this will fall under the heading of stuff you would never think to do or initiate yourself, but it's good for you. Like, you're just sitting there, you got the paint. When's the last time anyone painted anything in earnest, like with a paintbrush, like try to paint a picture? I haven't done that since I was in high school.
The only time I've done this is at a bachelorette party where this was the activity. So I'm with you.
Covering up a hole in the wall.
Right.
I told
for me.
Yeah, I told Natalia I was a art major in high school, and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "I was a ceramics major," and she's like, "That's not art."
Oh, how dare you!
Wow.
That's what I said. How
Take it
dare
up
you?
with Demi. Take it up with Demi Moore.
Fine arts.
That's right. I know. So there it is. We'll put that up at amcurl.com. But it was nice. It was sitting and painting.
And where will those be displayed? And will you have new track lighting put in to highlight it?
Well, they definitely got to go on the refrigerator. That's the way I'm.
The refrigerator?
It's fine.
Yeah,
art.
it's refrigerator. It's kid art. Kid art goes on the refrigerator. Dawson ran into a Karen, so says he.
Yeah. On Thursday, I was working in my backyard, and I've been working with your guys over there, and they tore out the fence that separates my driveway from my backyard. So I have a wrought iron gate that I keep locked, but my dogs can get right up to the sidewalk. And the dog that was formerly known as the Champ, now barely a contender, he has a nasty habit of running up on people and doing a lot of barking. And it's a little embarrassing, and especially now that there's no fence between the driveway and the gate. It happens quite often when people are walking their dogs on the sidewalk. Usually it's not a big deal. I run over there. I say, I'm sorry about that. Dogs being dogs. You know, he's just protecting his property. Most people are cool with it. Some people give me a weird look. And this first time, this lady engaged me. So I went over there and I said, hey, sorry about that. You know, he's just being a dog. I hope it didn't scare you. She stands with her dog right at my fence while my dog is barking and starts yelling at me, asking me why I'm not telling my dog to be quiet. Then she says that if my dog got out, her dog would kick my dog's ass.
Jesus.
Oh, that's
He would eat
uncalled
my
for.
dog.
Bring it.
That's not necessary.
Wow.
And you know, at first I had apologized. I said, I'm sorry, but now she's going to take it in a whole nother direction. So I'm just like, lady, just get out of here. I'm not talking to you.
Right.
Beat it.
Just take a hike.
So wait, Dawson, so
She
I put
goes-
information. There is a fence. The fence
There is, yes. There's a
She's
wrought
out.
iron gate that's separating everything. Everybody is safe and contained. And
she's out of line.
And I say, beat it, lady. I'm done with you. Get out of here. And she goes, you get out of here. And I look around and I'm like, lady, I live here. And she goes, I live here too. Okay, I've been here 3 years. I've never seen you, but I just kind of throw up my hands and I tell Champ, good boy, Champ. and I go back to working in the yard while this lady essentially is trying to instigate my dog getting into a fight with her dog. She's like, look at my dog. I can walk my dog around. My dog is calm. I'm like, lady, when I walk my dog, he does the same thing. You're on the border of my dog's property. Yeah. You're a threat.
I think that's pretty common for a dog to go nuts when another dog is right outside the fence. My dog does it. I know plenty of neighborhood dogs that do that.
It's a thing. And when you walk your dog around the neighborhood where you know dogs are going to do this, I always cross the street to mitigate any barking problems because I'm a respectful neighbor.
Speaking of mitigating, it's why you have a fence.
Yes.
Right.
But Dawson, you still need to get a Gran Torino and park it in the driveway because I feel that's where this is all going.
Yeah.
Befriend the Asian boy 2 houses down.
The hmong community.
I would imagine now this woman looked about 70. She had major plastic surgery. Her lips were huge. I think she was Armenian.
Oh, yeah.
But my whole neighborhood's Armenian, and we all love each other.
Well, this begs this question because I got a Karen story myself. Let me hit Tommy John, and then I'll share it with you. Tommy John, paying a little more is worth the upgrade. Get the 75-inch TV over the 50-inch TV. Get the ribeye instead of the sirloin. Go business instead of Coach. Upgrade and upgrade your underwear to Tommy John. When you're wearing Tommy John, it's so comfortable. Everything is better. The only thing I can say about Tommy John is once you start wearing Tommy John, you do not wear anything else.
I concur, by the way. They have the most incredible loungewear for women. I have the pants. I have to talk myself into taking them off. They are like a second skin.
Yeah, everything is just top shelf. And they don't have clients. They have converts, man. Over 13 million pairs sold, by the way. The waistbands don't roll down. That's a no wedgie guarantee. It's the best. It's Tommy John, right, Dawson?
Returns and exchanges are free. And right now, get 15% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/Adam. That's 15% off. Tommy John underwear and loungewear at TommyJohn.com/Adam. TommyJohn.com/Adam. See site for details.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back, tell you some more Karen stories right after this.
And now, a tip from the 1965 issue of Good Housekeeping. 120 ways to please a man.
Neat dresser drawers are dear to a man's heart, and this you can manage with no special effort. Put his things back in order as you're putting away newly laundered shirts, socks, etc.
Just one of 120 ways to please a man. Take notes. Now back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Yeah, I had a minor Karen story from a couple days back that involved driving. Here's something we should all tell our children. As you travel through this thing called life, there's going to be people with dogs, and dogs are going to do things. Sometimes they're going to run up to you. Sometimes they're going to bark. Sometimes they're going to act weird. Don't be that put off by it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
take it aback.
Like this thing's like, what's going on? It's like it's a dog, and then the dog lives here. And some dogs wag their tails, and some dogs bark, and some dogs do sort of something in between. Don't be confused or befuddled. People have dogs.
That's fair.
They have different temperaments. You know, the people that are like, you're with your dog and it's like trying to run up to the other dog or something. And people are like almost confused. Like, what's going on? It's like, it's a dog. Dogs say hi to other dogs.
We took Charlie on his walk today into the neighborhood about 4 or 5 times. Dogs inside the house or the fence or the yard or whatever went nuts because they're excited, they're protective, whatever. That's what dogs do. They're inside. That's why they're inside a fence, so they cannot attack your dog.
Most of my neighbors, and it is embarrassing. The dog scares people. I get it. And I say I'm sorry. Most neighbors go, hey, that's a dog doing what he's supposed to do. Right. Don't apologize to me. I'm like, I love you. Thanks, pal.
The other thing I'm going to tell my children is when you're driving, sometimes people cut in front of you or they don't see you or they're attempting to do something. Don't be confused or befuddled. I was pulling on to PCH a few days ago, and I was turning left, and it so happened. You know, certain things about driving are kind of timing, which is most of the cars are just going down PCH one direction or the other, so you have to kind of look to the left. Is anyone coming? If no one's coming, you can start. But every once in a blue moon, someone will be turning onto the street you're turning off of. They're slowing down and they're turning. Right. Now, meanwhile, you're looking to the left to make sure no cars are coming. No cars are coming, so you start heading out, and then you look to your right and you see someone is slowing down and actually turning into the street you're leaving from. This woman gave me the, what is this? What's going on? Like, what's the meaning of this? Like, sort of hands flying in the air. It's like, I'm pulling out onto a highway. I'm looking to the left because that's where the cars are coming from. I guess what? I saw you. I didn't hit you. I saw you. You, by the way, are doing a weird move where you're coming down PCH and turning onto a side street. So you got to cut me a little grace here. And our cars never came closer than 14 feet. What's the problem? She just like held it. Like what's going on? Like hands in the air. Like what's happening? Like, let me tell you what's happening, bitch. Other people are driving.
There is some context.
Why are you confused by this? Why is it so off-putting? Like, it's like, it's perfect context. I'm pulling out. I'm looking to the left. PCH, cars are going 60 miles an hour. You want to make sure you look to the left. If you can get no one's coming to the left, you can kind of zip her in with the traffic. But if someone is turning left onto the street, I'll see them, but I won't see them until I'm done making sure no one's coming from the left. There's a context here. You're pulling into this weird side street, and I'm pulling out. You could say, well, it's a little bit of timing. I mean, we've all had that thing where it's like, you know, that move where there's like a pedestrian and you're looking to the right and the pedestrian's coming the other direction and now it's clear and you start to move and they give you the what the. It's like, it's just a timing thing. Just timing, nothing personal.
But those interactions are a gift to people like that. That's how they look at it.
It's fuel.
They love it. They love reveling in it. And the one that I encounter all the time, because I live off of a main street, and I'm sure you guys know this. I'm sure you've encountered this a million times. I fucking hate when you're turning either way off of a main street, right or left, and the cars can park on the main street. So it really obstructs your vision. You can't see who's coming at you. So you inch out, but there's another 4 feet in front of me until I arrive and have eyeballs and can see.
Right.
You can see me.
You can see the hood of the car.
And then they lay on their horn like I'm trying to kill somebody, and it happens to me every day.
I completely agree. Also, this woman gave the, what the hell, like hands in the air. And then I do what I always do, which is to wave, like, sorry, like I didn't see you. And then they come back with, what's the meaning? It's like you're doubling down on the hands in the air.
You've acknowledged them and given the air to their fire.
But how confusing is life for you? Like, don't you feel like that's one big, all life is you trying to make your way through something, while guess what? Other people trying to make their way through stuff. And every once in a while, somebody comes close to you.
Elevator door opens. She steps out. Guy steps forward.
What's the meaning of this?
Not that I wish this upon anybody, but imagine if this woman was ever raped while jogging. Can you imagine her? She'd be like, what? What? What is going on? This is an outrage.
I'm on her side now.
Well, I'm just saying, if she could be that upset by me driving my car, imagine she's ever a victim of a violent crime. All right. So,
Adam,
yes.
Whenever this happens to me, I have a move. It might be enforcing some racial stereotypes. I don't know. But it used to be, I used to just give the thumbs up or smile as because it would make them even more mad. But now what I've been doing is I've been leading my head forward, squinting my eyes, and trying to look as Asian as possible.
Good.
When I drive.
Wow.
I know. And then I look at them and they just do like the, oh, of course. And they just go. And they never, then it's over. It's over in a second.
You are setting a whole people back.
I know.
It
really has gotten me out of a lot of confrontations.
A lot of jams.
On the road.
Give me some of those glasses Jerry Lewis wore in those 60s movies so I can see if I can pull this one off.
Yeah.
The ones for Breakfast at Tiffany's.
That's exactly right.
Was that Jerry Lewis?
No,
that was what's his fuck?
Not Milton Berle.
Oh,
the other one.
Rooney.
Yeah,
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey
Rooney.
That's it.
All right, I had so the Crow lady, we got the story. The Crow lady has some
Cold
anxiety, so she's not coming on. But I want you to...
the Crows gave her a look, and she knew. She knew.
We'll tell you the story. Max I'll buy you a few seconds because I just wrote down Dennis Cole, the actor. I was watching Charlie's Angels. Dennis Cole, the actor.
Who was that?
He was this actor who looked like a Ken doll. Like he was beach. He was the beach blonde, dimples and this just
handsome square cut fella,
Aryan type, and he was. So it's like, here's a weird little game to play, everyone. So you watch Charlie's Angels. And you don't have to watch Charlie's Angels. You could watch The Bionic Woman if you want, or The $6 Million Man, or Love Boat, any of the classics. You watch it, right?
Canon.
And when you see this guy, he's at the height of his powers, right? Because you're seeing Dennis Cole at age 33. He ends up marrying Jacqueline Smith. Right?
Wow.
Right. So, look, I don't know how much higher flying you can be than marrying arguably the hottest of the angels, of Charlie's Angels. I mean, if you marry one of Charlie's Angels while Charlie's Angels is on, you're at the fucking height of your powers, right?
Right.
So I'm always like, what happened with these guys? So just life, everybody, which is... This guy, Dennis Cole, great-looking guy, comes out here, does a guest arc on Charlie's Angels, probably meets Jacqueline Smith, and then starts dating the hottest woman on the planet, and then marries her. As you read on, with these guys. So you're watching them in 1981. You know what I mean? And you're like, you are at the height of your powers right now. Best-looking guy on the planet who married best-looking woman on the planet. But how did it work after that, So I was reading about him. He'd do the Love Boat. He'd kind of make the rounds. He didn't see his 70th birthday. I think he died at 69. like kidney failure or something. So number one's like, well, he's dead, so it's not going that good. Number two, he didn't get to Rush Limbaugh's age, and then it's like his marriage with Jacqueline Smith lasted for 3 years. So it's like, all right. Then you keep reading. It's like his son was murdered and it was never solved.
That's terrible.
Jesus.
Like, what? So you're sitting around going, this guy's got the world by the tail.
Right.
I guess his only son was murdered, like in Hollywood, and unsolved.
Venice, actually.
Venice, California.
Yeah.
Never solved. Like
right.
home invasion, whatever. And you go, all right. So,
Oh,
I don't know.
lucky.
Was he blessed? I mean,
Right.
he looked pretty damn good, but son was murdered. And it was never solved. And he's dead, and so is his son. And Jacqueline Smith's still going good, though.
Was this her
Yeah,
son?
what was his story, Max Zapata? Is that right?
The son or
Yeah, how old was his son? Was he 19 or something?
Joe?
30.
His son Joe was 30.
Oh, 30.
Yeah, so him and Henry Rollins were assaulted by armed robbers outside their.
Henry Rollins?
Yeah, they shared a home.
Wow.
He was like a roadie.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a roadie for Black Flag
Black
and
Flag.
the Rollins band. So
Wow.
yeah, so Cole, his name's Joe Cole. So Joe and Henry were assaulted outside their shared home in Venice Beach. They attended a whole concert at the Whiskey A Go-Go, and they were returning home after having stopped at an all-night grocery store. Two armed men, described as black and in their 20s, approached them demanding money. The guys only had $50 between them. The gunman ordered the two men to go inside their house for more cash. Rollins entered at gunpoint. However, Cole was killed outside after being shot in the face at close range, while Rollins escaped out the back door and alerted the police. Murder remains unsolved.
What year was that?
91. December of
Wow.
91, yeah.
How'd I miss the whole Henry Rollins part of that story?
They went to a concert for Hole, the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Love's band.
whiskey.
Yeah.
In 1991, they were ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they were at the whiskey and not at Staples Center.
Wow.
Yeah, so in an interview in 92, Rollins revealed that he kept a plastic container full of soil soaked with Cole's blood.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's Rollins, isn't it?
Rollins.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So anyway, have fun. Have a scotch. Watch The Love Boat or Charlie's Angels and see how it panned out for a lot of the guest actors on that show. And then so he died. The actor died in Dennis Cole probably made it to like 2009 or something. Yeah. So that's almost 20 years with your son's murder unsolved. That's got to be a pretty crappy final 18, 19 years on the planet.
Stick with you.
All right. So you got the crow story. Sorry, Dawson.
Yeah, the headline is, I accidentally created an army of crow bodyguards. Am I liable if my murder attempts murder? To make a long story short, I'm the late
I'll bet you Joe Cole and Henry Rollins wish they had the fucking crows up on that Venice Beach cottage,
Save their
right?
lives. Yeah.
I'm a late 20-something living in Portland, Oregon. I had a pretty intense emo goth phase as a tween that I thought I had grown out of.
Can I say this? Who are the people that shoot people in the face after they come up to them and go, you got cash? It's like, no. Okay, I shall shoot
That
you in the
blammo.
face. Like, that hardly seems fair. It really doesn't. Like, how much?
Or profitable.
What do you think? I have $2,800 in my back pocket. Like, how much money would you have on you at any
Right.
given time? Is the over-under $31?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's high risk, low reward.
I know. Jesus Christ. All right, sorry.
A couple of months ago, I was watching a nature program on our local station about crows. The program mentioned that if you feed them and befriend them, crows will bring you small gifts. My emo phase came back full force, and I figured I was furloughed and had lots of time, so why not make some crow friends? My plan worked a little too well, and the resident 5 crows in my neighborhood have turned into an army 15 strong. At first, my neighbors didn't mind and enjoyed it. They're mostly elderly, and most were in a bird watching club anyway. They thought the fact that I had crows following me around whenever I go outside was funny. Lately, the crows have started defending me. My neighbor came over for a socially distanced chat, me on the porch, her in my yard, and the crows started dive bombing her.
Good. Anyone who goes to visit someone and stands out in the yard deserves to be dive bombed by a crow.
They would not stop until she left my yard. They didn't make physical contact with her, but they got very close. Am I liable if these crows injure someone since I fed them? I obviously can't control the crows. I would rather them not attack my neighbors, but since I technically created this nuisance, could I be financially on the hook for any injuries? To be clear, they're not aggressive 100% of the time. If just the neighbors are out, they're friendly, normal crows. They only get aggressive when someone comes close to me or my property.
Poor Amazon guy.
That was a few months ago. Here's the update. So to make a long story short, I called our local Audubon Society. They didn't think feeding the crows was bad and suggested that the neighbors also start feeding them. So they essentially became better socialized. The plan worked, and the crows are now a beloved part of the community. They have no recent dive bombings. Most amazingly, the crows may have legitimately saved my neighbor. Our city had gotten pretty big ice and snow event recently. Like I said in my last post, most of the neighbors are older. One of my neighbors was walking down his steep driveway, slipped, and couldn't get back up. The crows started going ballistic and making more noise than we have ever heard. A different neighbor went outside to see what was up, found the gentleman in his driveway. Neighbor is mostly okay, just some serious bruises. Needless to say, the crows have been getting some high-value food since then. Thanks for all the help on my original post. It blew up way more than I was expecting, and I thought you guys would enjoy an update.
Well, crows, and then I think Dr. Drew tweeted me a couple days back saying that dogs are now sniffing cancer. They've trained the dogs to sniff cancer.
What a world.
All the stuff I've been talking about. Was that a Wizard of Oz reference?
No, I'm like, what a time to be alive.
I know. I'm just picturing the monkeys flying around.
Yeah.
What a world.
That's a bit of a side reference.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Crows are going to start being used for security, and dogs are going to start sniffing cancer, and it's already on. Let's see. Aaron is kind of drunk.
Put him on.
All right. He's kind of drunk on line 4. Aaron, 37, Tennessee.
Hey, what's up, Adam? How you doing, man?
Hey, man. What's happening?
Oh, I was just calling in, dude. I had a random tweet, and I saw it, and I was like, dude, I have never actually had an opportunity to call these guys, so I thought I would. Caitlin noted that I've been drinking a little bit, but figured it'd be fun to talk to basically one of my heroes, somebody I quote constantly throughout my entire life to all my friends, man. So thanks for your wisdom.
Thank you. What have you been drinking?
Yeah, wait, let me guess. You're drunk in Tennessee. I'm going with a sour mash.
I'm staying on theme. I'm going Old Crow.
Go Bloody Marys.
Dang, dude. So I've had a little bit of a concoctment, but that's not even a word. Jesus.
It should be, though.
Basically,
The fact that you knew that so fast is a good sign, Aaron.
Well,
Yeah.
I like to mix. Sorry about that. What was that, Brian?
No, go ahead, man. You're good.
Okay, so I like to mix White Claws basically with vodka, so it lowers the carbs even more. But then
Sure.
I love whiskey. My wife hates it, so I save the whiskey nights for the nights that I know I'm not getting any nookie. If you understand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
She's got the pillow on the bed. On one side says "not tonight," and then on the other side says "not tonight." So she puts that out. It's sort
A
of
loaded die. Yeah.
Exactly. After 4 kids, that's all you have is a dice that rolls the aces every time.
How many of those kids are whiskey kids?
Actually, both my boys, they love whiskey. My daughter hates alcohol altogether.
I meant we're
Don't
conceived.
report me to CPS.
Yeah. How old are the boys?
So goodness gracious, now make me do math. So they were.
I don't know if you have to do
4, 2,
math.
and 0.
You just know it.
I'd ask you how many months they've been on the planet.
Gotcha. Okay,
That's where the math
boys
comes
are
in.
5 years, 5 years and 2.
Oh, okay.
Adam,
Milk
he
whiskey?
didn't know his age when we screened the call. He told
okay.
Kaylin 36 or 37. I'm
Dude,
not sure.
Okay, I literally just had a birthday. I don't care about my age. Hitler had a birthday. They don't matter, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, that's It's coming up.
I
I got
mean-
to start
Coming up,
decorating
yeah.
the place. I forgot about that.
Yeah, born in 84.
months.
Born
Yeah.
in 84.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Aaron, thanks for calling. Thanks for the compliments.
Oh, gee, sorry. Okay, Adam, I actually had a real question for you and a real comment.
Oh, tomorrow's
If
our
you don't mind
birthday.
that.
Tomorrow's our 12-year anniversary.
Holy moly!
So says Max Patton.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah,
Old enough for Aaron to give us
So,
whiskey.
Adam,
that's right.
I know. Sorry for wasting your time with all
No,
this
we
nonsense.
love
No,
you.
go ahead,
I've
Aaron.
actually thought many times about everything I would want to talk to you guys if I ever had a chance. But Dr. Drew is constantly wondering, how have you guys changed? Just something for you to think about is you've been asking Drew if he's ever watched The Shining. Sorry, I listened to Love Line from Giovanni from 30 years ago, and you're constantly asking him, have you ever watched The Shining? I'd be curious, has he actually watched The Shining in the last 30 years? That's something that's pretty crazy. The other thing is he's wondering if you guys have ever changed. You got rid of me?
Yeah, no, you're there.
Go ahead.
Oh, all right. Well, he's always wondering if you've ever changed. Well, now Drew's kind of turned into like a 16-year-old that watches all these crazy little like tweener bopping shows, and he's never watched The Shining. And you're the only one that watches documentaries. Where if you can remember 30 years ago, you used to watch. I mean, your whole stick was masturbating and watching TV, right?
Now,
And it was
I
hilarious.
am back
So
with
I give you a lot of
Charlie
credit
Zane.
for that.
I'm watching Starsky and Hutch. I'm watching The $6 Million Man. Somebody, thanks, Aaron. Gina, this is going to give some clarity, but also it should upset you more.
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted me that the beginning of The Bionic Woman, which was completely mailed in after the extravaganza of the opening sequence of The $6 Million Man, The Bionic Woman is like some sort of low-budget afterthought.
When she's doing leg lifts with a phone book on her feet.
Yeah, she's doing a leg lift with 20 pounds on the
Right.
leg extensions. And then somebody said to me, oh, that's from the episode where she was introduced to the Bionic Man or something, and that was during her rehab. That's why the weight was so light. And I was like, well, even worse. They just took like stock footage from another episode instead of shooting their own opening.
That makes it so. The only way they could even remotely redeem themselves is if this were the kind of show where the narration goes over it, and it's like, and then she was rehabbing.
Right.
But if that is supposed to be the thing that a new watcher knows about the show, that they've never seen the one episode where she's rehabbing her leg, that is fucking insane.
She
Well,
just fired up.
It is so stupid.
season 2, episode 19.
They
says
did almost
Max
2 full seasons before this was explained.
Yeah, let's see. She's lifting weight because she just had surgery and is in rehab. I don't know. It's still bad opening sequence stuff. You'll be happy to know that on the theme of Dennis Cole going on Charlie's Angels and getting married to Jacqueline Smith, one of the Angels, before I left, I was watching the episode of The $6 Million Man where Farrah Fawcett played a news reporter, ended up finding love with Lee Majors. They took off in a dune buggy at the end of it, and Farrah Fawcett married Lee Majors as well.
Yes. And do you want to hear another crazy piece of trivia that you may or may not be aware of?
Please.
Do you know that the song Midnight Train to Georgia is about Farrah Fawcett and Lee Majors?
Yeah. Well,
Because
I know
it was supposed to be a midnight plane to Houston, when she was talking about being with Lee Majors, but it became Midnight Train to Georgia.
I think we got into this. It was written by a friend of his that played
Yes.
like semi-pro football, and yes, that was
I heard
that.
this on a Mike Rowe episode of the way I heard it.
We've discussed it on this show
Yeah,
before.
first show of 2018.
Wow.
But
Holy moly.
the also, it's so insane that Lee Majors, lost Farrah Fawcett to Ryan O'Neal.
O'Neal, yeah.
Ryan O'Neal was like the best-looking dick swingingest coxman of the 70s and that Malibu had ever produced. And the notion that Lee Majors would take Farrah Fawcett in the like height of her powers and Ryan O'Neal at the height of his powers and say, keep an eye on my wife, take her out, show her a good time. She's going to get lonely. I'm going to Canada to make a movie. How else would that turn out?
Yeah, that's a gift.
Yeah.
I always wonder when guys do that, are they saying, I don't want to be married anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, might be a way out.
Do you think they know it? That's my whole thing.
Were they like best friends, Lee and Ryan?
I don't know, but the story is like Lee Majors was married to her, and Lee Majors had to go film The Fall Guy or something, and he said, go look after her. Take her out. Show her a good time.
Terrible idea.
Can you imagine
In
that?
retrospect, a poor decision.
I would say, yeah. Get Dennis Cole. You two. Take her out. Show her a good time. But I guess that was it. I guess she just took off with Ryan O'Neal after that. By the way, Ryan O'Neal, is he still alive? I guess he was so old school that he'd get in like, you know, the super old school Hollywood guys who would get in fist fights with their adult sons, like throw down, like literally throw down with adult sons. Like we shall duke it out now, adult son, with our fists
We'll
closed.
solve our differences, yes.
And that's a good example of, if I'm remembering this correctly, physically abuse the sons, emotionally and mentally abuse the daughter, and don't show up when she gets her Oscar for a movie you did together.
Tatum O'Neal.
That's
Paper Moon.
Paper Moon.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Does anyone have a good life anymore? All right. Yeah, he's 79 years young.
Wow.
Farrah was, I guess, the love of his life.
Married. This is another example. Married twice, non-consecutively, to Farrah Fawcett from 79 to 97, then again from 01 to 09, where she died.
That's so strange when that happens.
All right. We got the Rotten Tomatoes game to play. First, I'll tell you about Geico. Do you rent your home? Well, you do one or the other. How about you get your bundle on? Take your homeowners and your renters insurance and you bundle it up with your automotive insurance at Geico. Go to geico.com, get a quote, see just how much you could be saving when you bundle at Geico. Get your homeowners, get your renters, get your automotive policy, put it all together at geico.com. That's geico.com. All right, we'll take a break, come back, play the Rotten Tomatoes game right after this.
Listen to that noise. It's a high falsetto voice. It can only mean one thing, and you can feel it.
Dawson names her flicks, and the gang makes their picks, guessing if it's rotten or fresh.
If they guess it exactly, we'll get a bonus 5.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game. You know how we do it. Give me the Rotten Tomatoes game. Now it's time to play it.
So, yeah, it is nice to be back to league play. Forget that exhibition stuff. Clearly, everyone here is a Rotten Tomatoes expert. So this week, we're shaking things up. Instead of 5 rounds with 5 movies, we're doing 4 rounds with 8 movies. The reason is simple. This week, we're discussing movies with similar titles, but different plots. For example, Pineapple Express is a stoner action comedy starring James Franco and Seth Rogen, whereas The Polar Express is a kid's Christmas movie starring a creepy CGI Tom Hanks.
That's good.
Okay.
For each round, we'll ask for your score for both movies. All the scoring will be the same. You just have extra movies to guess this week. Got it? Hope so, because here we go. First, America's sweetheart Sandra Bullock stars as everyone's favorite party girl until she steals her sister's wedding limo and winds up in court-ordered rehab.
I know where this is going.
Yeah, me too.
That film is called 28 Days. But don't confuse it with 28 Days Later, a horrendously violent zombie movie about a rage virus that destroys the world. From 2000, 28 Days. And from 2002, 28 Days Later.
So we're guessing 2 scores for each entry.
Yes.
Yes.
What year was this Sandra Bullock thing?
2000.
2000.
Oh, I didn't see it. Was it
Me either.
serious or was it?
No.
No, yes.
Yes.
It was serious?
I saw this. Yeah, it's serious in as much as it's like a movie about rehab.
Yeah, I thought this was.
I mean, whether or not you take it seriously is a different story.
You know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have weighed in. I think the question I heard was it serious as compared to 28 Days Later? Is what I was thinking.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I kind of remember her doing this kind of, that leaving Las Vegas kind of thing or something, where they get a little bit serious about stuff. All right. Well, they like Sandra Bullock, and they should have liked the theme, and but nobody cared about that movie.
I got to think about this because we got 2 movies to evaluate here.
So we're just going to
Have you guys seen 28 Days Later?
Yeah, scared the shit out of me.
It's pretty intense.
I was house sitting a house with no furniture right when they moved in and sat on the cold marble floor and watched this alone. It was horrifying.
This is Danny Boyle's it's after Train Spotting and
All right, you guys in?
Yes.
I'm going to go 63 and 88.
Ooh.
Yeah, 28 Days is not a good movie. I went 40 and 82.
Wow. Sort of right along the lines with Adam, I have 66 and 81.
28 Days is rotten at 33%.
Oh,
Shit.
no.
28 Days Later is certified fresh at 87%.
Oof.
So we throw out the low score and we move on. That's the way I read this.
I was wrong, by the way. Not married to Farrah Fawcett. They were partners.
Oh, partners. Mm-hmm.
Up next, we have the perfect movie for a dude's night out, featuring illegal bareback knuckle boxing, British gangsters, and a stolen diamond.
I own this movie.
Unfortunately, when we opened the Blockbuster DVD case, turns out they put another movie in there. It's a mother-daughter comedy starring Amy Schumer about a South American vacation gone wrong. So what'll it be, fellas? From the year 2000, Snatch, or from 2017, Snatched?
This is good.
Well, everyone loved Trainwreck, and then it was sort of payback time with Snatched. And, the thing about, I saw Snatched, on an airplane or something. It's perfectly serviceable. They're both good. It's got some funny stuff in it. It just wasn't, it wasn't well received. And that's just how our society works. The reality is it was fine, but it shall be punished. Snatch was good and well received.
Gina, you seen Snatch?
Yeah, once. I mean, I have no memory.
I love that. I love that movie.
So for that, I'm going to go 37-86.
Yeah, pretty close. 81 for Snatch, and for Snatched, 25.
Yeah, I went the same direction, widened them a little bit from my last score. Snatch, 89, Snatched, 29.
Brian, you said 81 and 25, correct?
81 for Snatch, 25, for Snatched.
I'm sure Adams were reversed, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Sorry.
Okay, which ones were Adams again then?
37-86. You can do the math.
Okay, Snatch is fresh at 73%.
Oh, lower than I thought.
Should be higher than that.
People have it at 93.
It's a fun movie.
I agree.
Snatched is rotten at 36%.
Ooh,
Okay, I'll take it.
All right.
Our next 2 films are fantasy adventures, but make sure you read the fine print before putting it on for your kids. One is
by the way,
sharp...
Snatch is what are you looking for out of a movie, critics? Tons of fun. You know what I mean?
And smart. The plot's fairly intricate. The characters are colorful. What is not to like about Snatch?
Why is it kind of low 70s? Yeah. Well, all right. Sorry.
One movie is a charming Jim Henson movie featuring creepy goblins and magical musical numbers with David Bowie. The other tells the tale of a sadistic army officer trying to quell a guerrilla uprising, while his daughter encounters nightmarish creatures on a quest for immortality. From 1986, Labyrinth. And from 2006, Pan's Labyrinth.
Did you see Pan's Labyrinth, Brian?
Of course.
You did? Okay, because all I remember is I must have been going to a lot of movies at the ArcLight around then in Hollywood because they had these massive displays and interactive displays for Pan's Labyrinth, and I thought, I should see that, and never did.
Oh,
why does David Bowie have Tina Turner's hair?
That was the
this
style.
Poster.
Because it worked for her.
In 86, yeah.
All right.
And don't forget, did we say Jennifer Connelly?
From Pan?
Labyrinth. From Labyrinth.
Oh,
Labyrinth.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Labyrinth, sadly. This is not my genre.
I don't like, not my genre either. Pan's Labyrinth was well received, right? Is that?
Yes, it was.
Is there something foreign about that?
Guillermo del Toro. I think it's one of his early movies.
All right, I'll give him a couple points for being an out-of-towner.
It's a Spanish language movie. I'm almost positive.
Okay. Well, if it's Spanish language, I'm going to tack on a couple.
100.
Hold
on. Okay.
So I got Labyrinth, David Bowie at 47, and I got Pan's Labyrinth at 93.
I have no idea about Labyrinth. I'm drawing dead on this one. 48 for Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth, I'm at 99.
Oh, shit.
It's beloved. I like this movie a lot, and I'm in the minority who doesn't love it.
All right. I went too high for one, too low for the other then. Labyrinth 70, Pan's Labyrinth 79.
Labyrinth is fresh
Good.
at 72%.
Thank God.
That hurt. What was your guess, Adam?
47.
Pan's Labyrinth is certified fresh at 95.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's beloved.
Wow. Well, that was kind of a push, I guess, with Gina, but good on the first one.
And finally, it doesn't really matter which one of these you put on. You're going to have a good time. First, an action-packed remake starring Gerard Butler and featuring computer-generated battles with ancient Greek mythological creatures. The other is a heartwarming tale of football, family, and redemption. From 2010, Clash of the Titans. From 2000, Remember the Titans.
The Titans. That's great.
Right.
Oh, I was watching, I wanted to watch White House Down, but instead I watched, I don't know, Condor's Fallen, or what the hell was that?
Angels Fallen, or one of the other.
One of those Fallen, but it's one of the, it was the
Olympus.
Gerard, but Olympus has fallen.
That was the first one, I think.
So I said, so Sonny and I watched that, and then I was like, all right, the next night, we got to watch the second White House has fallen movie with Jamie Foxx. And he fucking, he like hip shamed me. He was like, why don't we watch a good movie? I was like, what do you mean?
Damn.
What do you mean?
Sonny.
The stuff's exploding all over the place. You're going to love it. She's like, we could watch like 12 Angry Men or something good. I was like, boring. I want to watch shit blow up.
12 Angry Men.
He literally wants, that's one of his favorite movies. Like he wants
That's
to
a great
watch,
movie.
he
Are you
wants
serious?
quality.
That's
The
amazing.
fucking kid wants quality. And I'm like,
I
no.
love that kid.
We got to
Hey,
watch. He wants to watch. Let's see, 12 Angry Men. Full Metal Jacket.
The Manchurian Candidate.
Honestly, yes. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, this is kind of shit he wants to see.
Great.
Not for
Brian,
me. I want to see the White House blow up 2 nights in a row.
When you weren't here the other day, I think you'll agree with me, and I'm testing this theory, but Adam said the other day that they wanted to go by director and start watching stuff by the same director. Andy and I just watched literally everything, not just Batman, everything Christopher Nolan has ever done.
Nice.
And I think that would be a great one for Sonny, don't you think?
Yeah, modern. The kid obviously loves old movies, so it's neither here nor there. But they're engaging. Yeah, they're thoughtful for sure.
Does he have one where the Koreans try to take the White House?
Not yet.
Oh,
Well,
no.
then I'm out.
Not yet.
Then no
Right.
can do.
Chris can look this up, but as long as we're on the subject, I should mention this. Our guest tomorrow is Scott Glenn. He's promoting a movie called Greenland, which I think is directed or written by the guy who did Angel
Yes.
Has Fallen. That's the reason I bring it up. And it stars Gerard Butler. It's almost shockingly good. Like, Adam, you should watch it for tomorrow's show if you have a chance, maybe tonight.
I
But
will.
our listeners, check out Greenland. I was very pleasantly surprised. Very pleasantly.
Yeah, Rick Roman Waugh did both.
All right, so Clash of the Titans. Remember that?
Last one.
The Clash of the Titans kind of movies, I I don't watch any of those kinds of movies ever.
Seen it.
This is a fairly close game, so this may decide things here. I think I need to make up a little ground and remember the Titans.
Is that a true story?
Yes.
Okay.
Integrated football team in the
Hold on.
South.
By the way,
score.
we also said Gerard Butler. It is not Gerard Butler.
Okay.
Sam Worthington.
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you who's in that movie.
All right. I'm newly locked in.
All right. Okay. Are you guys locked in?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Clash of the Titans, I got 49 because I have no idea. And Remember the Titans, I got 77.
Ooh.
Okay. 36 for Clash of the Titans, 80, even 80 for Remember the Titans.
Goldilocks over here, splitting the difference. 37 for Clash of the Titans, 74 for Remember the Titans.
Everybody close. Clash of the Titans is rotten at 27%.
Oh, wow.
Brutal.
Remember the Titans is fresh at 73%.
So glad I asked if it was a true story.
Too far off.
Oh, this
I don't know where this game is going.
I
We really
know.
have 8 scores to tally up.
We should probably filibuster for a while.
Gina Grad.
The winning score is going to be like 100.
Gina Grad consistently on the podium time and time again. Your score of 93 puts you firmly on the podium.
That could have won with 8 movies.
Adam Carolla coming in with a score of, which is going to place him on the podium as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's also in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
It's followed by an 8 for third place.
Hey, man, I'll take that podium.
Interesting.
Bald Bryan, the only one left. Did he beat Gina's 93?
I'm rusty. I think I might have.
He's back in the high life with 75 for the
bingo.
win. Bald Bryan.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game. You know how we do it.
What a great game.
That was fun, actually.
Jesus Christ. I have not tasted victory in this game, and it feels, it's been months now. All right, I vow to come back. I vow to return. I'm going to be like MacArthur returning to the Philippines. And next time we play this game, I'm going Joe Namath. I predict a victory. I guarantee it. I guarantee a victory.
Oh, no!
Yes. All right, let me tell you about Headspace. You got 10 minutes. You can change your life. Headspace, daily dose of mindfulness in the form of guided meditations, I should say. Easy-to-use app. Overwhelmed, Headspace has 3-minute SOS meditations, just 3 minutes. Need a little help falling asleep? Headspace has the wind-down sessions. Parents, Headspace has morning meditations you can do with your kids. Reduce stress, improve sleep, boost focus, and increase your overall sense of well-being. Look, if we've learned anything about ourselves over the last year, learn that we got to be a little more mindful. So get the app. I have the app. You can do it in just like 3 minutes, 10 minutes. It's not about taking the day off anymore. Backed by 25 studies, 600,000 5-star reviews, and over 60 million downloads. It's Headspace, right, Dawson?
You deserve to feel happier, and Headspace is meditation made simple. Go to headspace.com/Adam. That's headspace.com/Adam for a free 1-month trial with access to Headspace's full library of meditations for every situation. This is the best deal offered right now. Head to headspace.com/Adam today.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and do the news right after this.
Give me the news with Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking, viral, weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gina Grad. Stuff they saw on TMZ. Joe Biden, Kamala. Big news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, let's start with something that nobody ever wants to see 30,000 feet in the air or looking up 30,000 feet in the air. And we have a couple different pieces of footage for you. United Airlines flight from Denver to Hawaii had to turn back due to a heavy mayday, as it was called by the pilot. A passenger captured the moment on his phone as one of the plane's engines caught fire and began to fall apart after it departed from Colorado on Saturday. And we're just showing you a little bit of the video of what it looked like sitting at the window seat.
That's crazy.
Watching this whole thing collapse in front of you. I don't know if you have that still. Large pieces of metal debris landed in the neighboring city of Broomfield, which had people on the ground running to shelter to dodge debris suddenly plummeting to the earth. What may be even more surprising is that United said there were no reports of injuries in the air or on the ground. That's what it looked like.
It's shocking that held together. Like, credit to whoever, Rolls-Royce, whoever manufactured that engine. That's wow.
Yeah, and
I'd give more credit if it didn't blow up.
No, well put.
Give them all the credit in the world. Two more things. Those who did not wish to get back on the plane were given hotel accommodations, but United says the majority of the people got right back on to go to Hawaii. That's the power of Hawaii.
Well, get back on a plane.
Not that plane. Right. But to get back on a plane right after this. Meanwhile, United says
that's the best time to get back on. What are the odds of it happening again?
United will immediately halt all flights.
Can I say this?
I'm sorry, but all fleets of this 777, all 24.
777.
Yeah, probably an old plane.
It's a couple things. One is, here's a sad thing. For the people who chose not to continue on to Hawaii, there had to be a very small part of them that was rooting for the plane to crash. Because let's face it, if 5 hours later everyone's just having fun in Maui and you're stuck in Denver, you got to be like, fuck.
That's totally
should have been on that place. There's got to be a little party, just a little part. This crash landing would be nice. I am so amazed that planes are able to fly on one engine. Because you think about it, the way thrust works, one's all the way on one side, and the other, you think it just goes spinning like a boomerang. Right. How they can fly on one engine is insane to me. Thank God they can. And yeah, 777s used to be new, but they're probably good 20 years old now.
Old,
yeah.
Well, and also, remember, thank God this happened when it did and not when they're just way over the ocean. Right. I mean, at that point, you just have to make a choice. Do we keep going or not? So at least it looks like they literally, they were still in Colorado.
Do you think that if you're sitting by the window and you're watching this engine flame out, do you think filming it is a distraction that gives you like almost a duty, like something to do versus someone who's just sitting there freaking out, their nose against the window?
Absolutely. And psychologically, you might feel just a little bit more removed from the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah. So,
good call.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. And how much further did they fly on before they...
They were still in Colorado.
Yeah, they went from Denver to wherever Broomfield, Colorado is and turned back around.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I want to thank Mr. Vinny Tortorich for this. He sent this to me the other day, and I thought, you got to see this. So Richie Cunningham, you're familiar with, the All-American teenager from the Happy Days show, of course, that was all about the 1950s and taped in the, early 70s. He has a poster on his bedroom wall that, if you watch it on MeTV these days, has been blurred out. It was fine then. It is not fine now. Any guesses on what poster has been blurred out?
Raquel Welch. And that wasn't, the movie wasn't out yet.
Is it someone who's no longer PC? Like, Elvis is a bad example, but...
Take any guess.
Maxapat already told me, so I won't.
Oh, okay. It's the Confederate flag. So you see it in this image right behind him, and it looks like, what does it say, the Indy 500 or something? It looks like a racing poster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it's right behind him in his room, which we didn't see very often. But you won't see it if you're watching it on MeTV. From now on, the flag on Richie's poster will be digitally blurred whenever it appears on the network. And it's not just Richie; it's one of numerous judgment calls they're making as the Chicago-based MeTV owner systematically scours its library of reruns from the 60s, 70s, and 80s to spot offensive stereotypes and objectionable material. They say they're doing this to be responsible, not reactionary.
There was a Easter egg, speaking of posters. It's been long enough since I've spoken about the Love Boat, I believe.
No, it's been almost 20 minutes.
I have to speak up.
Sure.
Feels like a eternity.
I was watching an episode of Love Boat where Marion Ross and Tom Bosley, or whoever played his dad, were a couple.
Yeah,
on the boat, right?
As Mr. and Mrs. C?
No, as another couple.
That's weird.
As another couple from somewhere else. They were not them. Well, first off,
network.
Well, Happy Days was supposed to be Milwaukee, 1953.
Right.
This is 1981 Love Boat. So it wouldn't have worked. But you can find that episode, Max Bada. Anyway, there was this part. It had all right. It guest starred Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol was on the Love Boat.
Go on.
Oh,
that
yes.
Doesn't seem okay.
Now, he wanted to photograph Marion Ross, but she had a secret from her man, Tom Bosley, because she had been in a scandalous Andy Warhol film 20 years earlier, 30 years earlier. Of course, she wasn't nude or blowing anyone, but her hair was dyed a funny color, and it was scandalous. And she couldn't let Andy find her, on the boat. But Andy, of course, was going to photograph someone and make a poster of someone on the ship. And, of course, he went to 57-year-old chunky Marion Ross and I must have you. And then Tom Bosley was like, not my wife, will be the scandal of the town. He was sold hardware or tractors, like a tractor salesman in the town or something.
Kaput in that case.
And at some point, he's saying to her, he goes, if you are pose for the Andy Warhol, my clients will never understand. The townspeople understand. Think about our son, Chuck. And they said his name. I don't know why you wouldn't say our son will be Chuck. Right. And I was like, oh, Chuck was from season 1.
He went upstairs, never came down.
Of Happy Days. And that was the Love Boat's weird little Easter egg. Because you didn't, if it wasn't, you wouldn't say his name. You just go, what about the kids? And they'll be humiliated. They'll go, our son, Chuck. So some writer thought it'd be funny to toss that in. I don't know who got that other than me, but it was important that I did.
I got to see a clip of Andy Warhol doing the Love Boat. That seems too mainstream for him, too lame.
First off, you bite your tongue. Number one, that show is too good for Andy Warhol, okay?
I'm sorry, you're right.
That boat is too good for Andy Warhol. That's the angle you should be working.
Right.
He was on there, barely saying anything, just kind of being weird. Had his little entourage, with the model.
Are you sure it's Andy Warhol?
It's nuts. Everybody was on that show at some point. Wow. I'm sure Andy Warhol looked at it as a kind of a sociological experiment or something.
Sure.
This is this show, this bizarre show that has captured the imagination of America, and he's on it. You can, Maxipad will find it.
Prove it.
All right.
You'll find it. Sorry.
Well, buy us some time here. A couple newses. It's official. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are no longer working members of the royal family. That shit is done. So according to People magazine, the couple will lose the royal patronages, which represent their involvement with numerous charities that were given to the couple by Queen Elizabeth. Harry is also expected to lose his honorary military appointments. When the couple stepped away from the royal family, they were put on a 1-year probation period that ends March 31st. According to an insider, the Queen's view is that members of the royal family can't be half in, half out, meaning they can't represent the Queen while also pursuing their own financial goals. And by the way,
I want to hear from Meghan's dad, King Ralph. Because I feel like he should weigh in on this shit, right?
I think you're right. This is probably going to be addressed because Oprah scored the tell-all interview, so I'm sure they'll get into it.
I don't know. Are we done with these people? Like,
We are
I'm
now.
just not interested. Like, it's just sort of, what? You're just born into something.
Yeah.
It's like, I think the reason we kind of like Tom Brady is because he wasn't born with, 7 Super Bowl rings. Like, you got to go get it. I don't know. I know I sound like every other guy, but I think I'm done with the Royals.
I have never, ever cared about the royal family. A, it just doesn't interest me. And B, I know English people who are like, fuck them. Why are we paying for they're not interested either. But this is interesting to me because, the whole Meghan thing is like, a foreigner, an American, whatever. But now they've been ousted. So, the shaking things up aspect of like, this feels like news. Like they're no longer allowed to be part of the family.
They'll be fine.
I think they'll land on their feet. So, yeah.
You got Andy Warhol?
We're scrubbing through it.
Hurry.
Just break in anytime.
Surreal.
So another couple, Kim Kardashian, has filed for divorce from Kanye West. The two have been married for 7 years, 4 kids.
This is good. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because they're both going to move on to another equally insane relationship that we could all enjoy, right?
Sure.
It's not like either one of them's going to marry a civilian.
No.
Right?
Sure.
They're going to marry. There's going to be something weird and something crazy, and who the hell knows? You know what I mean? Like she's going to marry Jamie Foxx or something. Like there's going to be something good for us.
Right.
So it's essentially now we're going to have 2 crazy couples to keep
They're
tabs on.
spreading the wealth.
Yeah.
And well, speaking of spreading the wealth, you don't hear this very often. Now we'll see how long this lasts. Nobody's contesting the prenup on either side. They've already agreed to joint legal custody with the kids staying, primarily with Kim. And, this could be over fairly quickly, which you don't hear very often.
They're both super wealthy, right? Like what is, I can't imagine.
I think she's technically wealthier than he is, but they're both mega millionaires, billionaires.
All right. Is she's a little old for the NBA baller anymore, right? Like a little bit.
Is she 40?
She's 40. Does she throw us a curve with, some like 61-year-old pudgy white guy?
I think she'd go the other way.
Going down. I think she's going the other way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going down. I'm going like, a 22-year-old stud.
I agree because her family and the clucking sisters would be like, ew, Kim, ew. So she would never.
Well, that may be dating, but does she end up with some, Greek tycoon or something? Or does she go with like Simon Cowell or something weird and interesting? Be nice.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I say my prediction is the next one she's linked with is going down the ladder.
I have a new prediction. After what you just said, you've turned me around. She's going to go from basketball athlete to basketball owner.
Oh, wow.
So that I could see.
What's his name? Sterling, who used to own the Clippers?
Yes.
That's right.
Roger Sterling.
Is it Donald? Or?
Donald.
Oh, why
Donald.
did I say Roger? Who's
I don't
Roger
know.
Sterling? Oh, from Mad Men. Never mind.
I don't.
Sterling?
Listen, I forgive everyone. There's officially too many celebrities, and like there's so many car makes that I don't know the number, like the STS or is it the CDX or the FBI or whatever. There's so many models of cars now. Even me, a car guy, can't keep track of them. There's way too many. There's way too many celebrities now. How you doing scrubbing through it, Max Spada?
I think we found a scene with Andy Warhol in the Love Boat. You want to check it out?
Yeah, enjoy Andy Warhol on the Love Boat, everybody.
Could I talk to you, Mr. Warhol? Excuse us.
He's such
Mr.
an
Warhol,
odd bird.
I'm Mary's husband.
Mary?
Marina Del Rey. Oh. Mary tells me that you want to paint her picture. Well,
that was probably her Andy Warhol name.
It's nothing personal, Mr. Warhol. It's just that we come from two different worlds, and don't get me wrong, I'm flexible. I mean, I could even go for something like that. If you could do that sort of thing, it would be a different story.
Well, that's mine.
He's a great actor.
That's good.
Thanks.
Why are we laughing?
It's surreal, right?
What the
fuck? It's bizarre, right?
That felt like
Yes,
Twin
absolutely.
Peaks.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's as though David Lynch directed it.
Yeah, that was weird.
They're talking backwards.
I wouldn't have been able to watch that episode alone at night. It was too weird.
It's also like we were kind of talking about, Good Housekeeping and stuff like that, from the 50s and the 60s. That kind of stuff went into the 80s. Like Tom Bob's is like, you are not painting my wife. It would be a scandal. A scandal if you paint not nude or anything, just weird.
Did no one object to the bizarre premises in the writer's room? Like, why would it be a scandal if the most famous painter in the world painted your wife?
It was literally, first premise, Andy Warhol is taking a cruise. That's number one. It's number one is he's going on a Princess Carnival cruise. He's not
already suspended your disbelief.
Yeah, he's not with David Geffen in Italy off the Amalfi Coast. He's just taking a commercial cruise as Andy Warhol. So that's first hurdle you have to get over. Then Marion Ross was the star of one of his weirdo avant-garde 60s movies.
Sure.
And she's also taking a cruise. And she's married and trying to live a respectable life and is going to be outed by Andy Warhol on the cruise and the movie they're showing on the cruise is her weirdo avant-garde Andy Warhol 60s creation.
I love it. No notes.
That's it. How easy would it be to write for these shows?
Oh, the best.
Apparently super.
My theory is everyone was out of their mind on cocaine.
Yeah.
And it was just like, just like chewing on their lower lip going, yeah, okay, it's good. Let's go. Yeah. Like, who cares? Whatever.
Well, and it also seems like besides Andy Warhol, he might be the only exception. It doesn't matter what celebrity you plug into these storylines.
Oh, God.
They're totally interchangeable.
Got to find me more Warhol. I need more cowbell. I need more Warhol. And it's not that he can't act. He has difficulty speaking. Like Andy
he can't
Warhol.
connect with a human.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Wow. All right, Chris, you just tell me when there's more and I'll stop what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you never, you wouldn't believe it, right?
No,
Right?
that is difficult to believe that aired on national television.
And the laugh track seemed so inappropriate.
Exactly. That's I was like, why is that a laugh line?
Oh, please.
That should be a
that's the
podcast.
least
All about
everyone's
all about Love Boat.
All right, let's do another one.
All right. Well, this is pretty crazy, and more so because we have footage. A TV news reporter in Ecuador went from reporting the news to being the news when an armed robber held him and his crew at gunpoint on live TV. And I'll show you in a second. So soccer reporter Diego Ordinola was delivering a live report outside a soccer stadium when this guy runs up to him, points his gun, and demands their phones. After someone off camera hands over a phone.
He's holding a $1,000 camera and he asked for the phone.
Yes.
Yeah, the robber runs off, hops on a motorcycle, drives away, but the cameraman keeps rolling, follows the thief as he got away. So you see the whole thing. It's unclear if police have made an arrest yet. And there's going to be a lull when the camera guy's kind of chasing after him, but it's worth it. I think the whole thing's like 30 seconds. Here's a clip. Got his phone,
Wow.
waving a gun,
Right at him.
runs away, runs down the ramp, and the camera guy stays on him.
I'm going mobile.
Yep. Running down the ramp with the camera,
This is a
reporter
live
following
hit?
him. Yes.
Wow.
They're
And
running
give it a
down.
second.
All right.
They're at the underpass. They see him with his wheelman going off on like a little moped.
You don't want to live in a country where crimes are committed using mopeds as getaway vehicles. That's a bad place. That's a bad hang.
Back to Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, the moped.
When they took the camera.
Yeah, and when they also brought the prostitute out with the buku sucky fucky that I had to kind of explain to,
Sonny.
I don't think you have to explain.
Yeah. Got any more Andy Warhol?
I'm still looking. I mean, Love Boat has 3 storylines going on at once, and I think this is the C storyline.
The Black Snake is too buku.
I just want to say how honored I am that you chose my wife, Mary, to be the subject of your portrait.
Maybe you two would like to get together with us here in L.A.
Oh, Andy, we can't. We're not getting off the ship. We've booked passage on the very next cruise.
But you've already seen the sights. It'd hardly be worth getting out of bed.
He's wearing eyeshadow.
Andy Warhol and his bohemian group of gay guys and supermodels invited the 63-year-old couple from the Midwest to hang out with them in L.A. I want to hear that one more time, Max. What universe would Andy Warhol be like? How'd you come hang out with us in L.A.? His mouth didn't even want that to come out of it. That's how he said it. He said it like his mouth was fighting him. Listen, turn it out.
Mary, to be the subject of your portrait.
Maybe you two would like to get together with us here in L.A.
Oh, Andy, we can't. We're not.
Maybe you two
but...
would want to get together with us in L.A. Do you think Andy Warhol would be directable? Like, do you think someone's going to go, let's
How
try it
many
again?
takes do you think it took to elicit that performance out of Andy Warhol?
Andy, we can always pull you back. Can you give us a little more?
It's crazy, right? We were fucking nuts in the 70s and 80s. Everything was nuts. But also, said it once, said it 1,000 times. This is what no competition breeds. This is what you end up with. There's 3 networks. I'm babysitting. I was telling Sonny, I was like, what I would do, $1 an hour. I'd go to the neighbors. I'd sit there. I'd watch a Love Boat. He's like, $1 an hour. $1 an hour sounds criminally insane to kids now. But it's like
criminal.
Yes, $1. I would get paid $1 an hour, and I would just sit there and watch these shows because that was it. There was no other form of entertainment. God forbid I try reading.
Hey, here's a hypothetical for you. Since I know you're the kind of man who has to answer, I got one that I think for most would be unanswerable. Who is...
Blow my dad. I do this one all the time. There's no way I'm having sex with my mom. There's no way.
Next story.
Next. It's not going to do it.
I get
so
it.
I blow my dad. Okay.
Which actress would you rather have blow your dad? Which one is less matronly? Less matronly. Mrs. C, Mrs. Cunningham, or Mrs. Garrett?
Mrs. C is less matronly.
Not in the clip we just saw. I'm talking with the rollers and the 50s clothes.
Who's Mrs. Garrett?
From
Facts of Life.
And Different Strokes.
And Different Strokes.
Oh, girls.
Yeah. I Mrs. Garrett was a little shorter and a little thicker.
A little squatter.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Okay,
I'd say Mrs. Garrett was a little marginally more matronly. And it's unclear who would want to paint her. Wait, didn't Scott Glenn play the artist? Didn't he play, what's his name?
I think it's Jackson Pollock.
Yeah. Was he playing?
No, that's Ed Harris.
Oh, not Scott Glenn.
I think he was nominated for an Oscar for that.
Yes. I get my Scott Glenn's and my...
He may have played him in something else.
No, you're right. That was Ed Harris. I think I get my Scott Glenn's and my Ed Harris's mixed up sometimes. Were they both in The Right Stuff? Or I feel like they must have been in movies.
I get Scott Glenn and Sam Shepard mixed up.
I can see that.
All right.
They're both in The Right Stuff.
Oh, they're both in The Right Stuff.
Did Ed Harris and James Woods ever do a movie together? Because as a kid, I got them confused all the time.
No, and also I think Glenn was the name of an astronaut, too.
Yes,
right?
John Glenn.
I think that's what's now I'm totally screwed. All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
Okay. You know what? Because I didn't get to it earlier and I need to have said it, we'll end with this one. So Dolly Parton, she continues to be revered by many, a national treasure, so much so that Tennessee legislation had been considering erecting a statue to her. But this is what makes her an angel. Like the Medal of Freedom that she didn't want, she doesn't want the statue. She asked them to please stop with the statue. She tweeted it and said, I want to thank the Tennessee legislature for their consideration of a bill to erect a statue of me on the Capitol grounds. I'm honored and humbled by their intention, but I have asked the leaders of the state legislature to remove the bill from any and all consideration. Given all that's going on in the world, I don't think putting me on a pedestal is appropriate at this time. I hope, though, that somewhere down the road, several years from now, or perhaps after I'm gone, if you still feel I deserve it, then I'm certain I will stand proud in our great state capital as a grateful Tennessean. In the meantime, I'll continue to try to do good work to make this great state proud.
Well, there's always
she can do no wrong.
Let me say this to Dolly. There's never a good time to put up a statue. There's always some ethnic cleansing going on. You know, there's always some shit going down in the world.
Right, but she could say, "Oh, I'm so humbled. This is so sweet. I'm so humbled," and leave it and let them do what they want to do.
Does she really mean it though? And will they listen? Like, you know, it's sort of like
will they double down.
You know when
please.
You know those things where it's like he gave one of his employees that was had a son that was stricken with cancer. He paid for his whole hospital bills, but said he didn't want it. But we know about it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of that. George Steinbrenner paid for the whatever, and he told him, I don't want any press. I'll do it anonymously. And I was like, yeah, but I know about it.
Right.
So somebody squealed. I mean, look, I'm still glad he did it, but I always kind of, you hear that, like, this guy paid for this, but he did it. He didn't want anyone to know about it, but we know about it. You know what I mean? So the only thing better than having a statue of you in front of the State House is you protesting vehemently about the erection of the statue, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So
you're
my thing would be like, are we doing the statue, the Ace Man, in the Heisman pose in front of North Hollywood High? And then they'd go, yeah, and I'd go, is this a done deal? Like, no return? Like, we can't
going back.
The artist is actually working on it right now. The metallurgist is actually fashioning.
In that case, I forbid you for making that statue.
The check is already cleared. I mean,
well, with all that's going on in the world.
But think what it would do for the community to have somebody to be able to gather around and.
After I meet my maker and the dust is settled on my life, if you still see fit to get the Ace Man out there and his Letterman jacket out of bronze, well, then so be it. But as long as there are kids that are hungry in this country and around the world, I say no.
We poured the concrete on the platform 2 days ago. It's hardened already.
Well, let it be known. So this is good, but there better not be a fucking statue because she can't get both.
Yeah,
she can't be the hero and the statue.
No. Only you.
Only me. That's my point. So we're gonna follow this one up.
Okay. Trust me, I'll be on it. And this is a meme, so I don't know if it's real, but it was going around saying something like, you know, Dolly Parton is a millionaire, not a billionaire, because of the work she does for charity. Now, wouldn't you like that meme to be going around in your honor?
Anyone can make a meme.
Right.
What is the... I feel like the over-under on statues is like 11 months now before they get torn down by some angry group that finds out that she said something about something or something.
There's already a mob, waiting to tear it down.
Yeah. All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, last but not least, there is Geico. Do you own, do you rent? Well, you do one or the other, right? How about you bundle, man? You take your homeowner's insurance, your renter's insurance, you bundle it up with your automotive policy, and you save a bunch of dough. So you go to geico.com. You get your bundle on, you get a quote, you see just how much you could be saving, and Geico makes it so easy at geico.com. That is geico.com. Scott Glenn on tomorrow for our 12-year anniversary. Oklahoma City Bricktown Comedy Club this Friday, Saturday. We'll be doing live pods out there, and then we'll do stand-up after that. So come on out, hang out, have a good time. And Reno coming up, Los Angeles coming up, Waukegan coming up. Go to AdamCarolla.com. Oh, I'm going to do, Jam in the Van. What's that called? Yeah.
Jam in the Van Speakeasy.
Jam in the Van Speakeasy.
Ooh.
Adam Ray's going to open, and then he'll pull the balls there, and you get free mangria and cannabis as well, so you get all lubed up. And go to AdamCarolla.com for all the dates. And until next time, Adam Carolla for Bryan, Gina, Grad saying mahalo.